Hey everybody, it's Stephanie Old World Gamer along with Scott Devin Kane, and welcome to the podcast.
We're back again.
Indeed.
For more gaming news and awesome talk.
And I must say, we're getting a lot of good feedback from everyone. Everyone seems to actually enjoy listening to or watching, probably listening to the podcast.
Yeah.
It's mostly just images otherwise, but yeah, they like the whole format of it. They like that we have everything down in the description there for them to get to different segments as quickly as they want to, or can get back to it if they have to come back to it later. So thank you for all the great feedback. Keep it coming. We always appreciate it. And
definitely let us know how you feel.
Yes, indeed.
I've actually gotten feedback myself on it, and I was told that it's very entertaining, and so happy that you guys are happy with us. And we're going to keep this coming to you every Saturday.
And I guess you'll start out as usual, good sir.
All right, so first thing I'm going to do is give us a little bit of an update on the Bloodstained Ritual of the Night. Right, take it back. But they have gone on to announce that the stretch goal for the Wii U version has now been attained. So less than a little bit over $200,000 more, and the game is going to be released onto the Wii U. So that's interesting. Mm-hmm. The last thing that got funded was that this is apparently going to be Iga's biggest castle yet. And I don't know if you guys played Symphony of the Night. I'm going to reference this game again, but Symphony of the Night's castle was pretty big.
Yeah.
So to know that we're going to be getting a castle that's even bigger than that, woo!
And plus, you have to also think this is a newer game, so there's room for DLC if he ever wants to do that kind of thing as well.
God, yes, absolutely. And by what I'm seeing, after they get to I can't imagine that they're not going to hit this $3 million stretch goal, especially with the fact knowing that there's going to be a Wii U port of it. Mm-hmm. It looks to me that there's going to be some sort of like multiplayer time attack.
Oh, nice.
So that's kind of what it looks like, the $3.25 million goal. So multiplayer time attack on a game like a Metroidvania game? Okie dokie.
So does that mean the potential for like multiplayer races for the game or something then?
Like online multiplayer races.
Wow, that opens up a lot of opportunity for Let's Players out there. Let's Players are going to love that alone.
Oh my goodness, that's going to be like, I'm throwing that out there. That's what it looks like. There's a red player and a blue player with an egg timer between them. So I'm like, that's kind of what I'm guessing it's going to be. But there hasn't been anything like that, like a multiplayer race thing in a Metroidvania game yet. Unless you really want to try to say something about the 3060 Castlevania, and I'm going to brain fart the name of it.
I don't even know.
Where there's like a 6-player Castlevania. I'm going to brain fart the name, but unless you want to count that, of where it's kind of like, it's not really speed running, it's more like 6 players working together, all playing the same game,
like Four Swords Adventure,
sort of, except in a Metroidvania-esque sort of game.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm guessing it's gonna be. So I honestly hope that's what we get.
Indeed.
Because if something like that ends up being a thing, holy crap, that's gonna be awesome. But moving along from Bloodstained, Blizzard has decided that they're going to do something here that I'm questioning whether or not I like it or not. Anybody who's played StarCraft knows that the character Tychus, he's very iconic. He's very strong-spoken. He's very gruff and whatnot, and always has the cigar on him. Blizzard has decided to remove the cigar from Heroes of the Storm.
That's like saying, why don't we just give him a nice, pretty face?
It's like, Tychus better never have a nice...
That's what I'm saying. Like, dude is rough. He's smoking a cigar inside of a fucking space helmet.
So apparently the reasoning for this is that because Heroes of the Storm is, multi-regional game, and it has only a teen rating, in certain countries, a teen rating means that you cannot be, using tobacco products. So they're gonna remove an iconic piece off of Tychus.
Couldn't they do something like say that the cigar is not tobacco, it's something else? Now, I'm not saying marijuana or anything like that. I'm just saying like a different kind of space herb or something.
I don't know. It's just, to me, it's like I almost want to just like point the finger at Australia and be like, this is probably your fault. I don't want to. Dude. Do you not know about what Australia has done to certain games?
Oh, I do. But this is coming from what was the line that I heard? I'm on the bleed, huck it in me dumper. So I'm sorry.
I mean, that's where I want to point the finger, but I can't say that that's where it is. And they decided that they're not going to make like different skins where Tychus has the cigar and Tychus doesn't have the cigar and whatnot. They said it would just be more data trying to just, instead of remaking the character again without it, they just decided to just remove it. But for me, it's like having Mario without his hat, It just doesn't. Tychus doesn't feel the same if he doesn't have that cigar on him. And to me, it's just like, all right. I mean, if you're really going to be that nitpicky about, oh, Tychus has a cigar, blah, blah, sure. But next thing I got is I saw this and I couldn't help but laugh. Anybody who knows me knows that I'm a very avid Scrabble player. I love playing Scrabble. I will play against anybody. And I'm gonna toot my own horn and say I'm a pretty good fucking player. Alright? So now, it's gonna be even easier to play this game. Because that Z tile has more things you can do with it. Because the Scrabble dictionary has added some gaming words to it. Like noob, N-E-W-B, pwn, P-W-N, and LOLZ, L-O-L-Z.
LOLZ.
Really?
Oh, you forgot why. W-A-H-H.
Oh, wah.
Yeah.
Oh. Really? Scrabble?
Hey, listen, people are getting lazier. They have to abbreviate as much as they can, or
LOLZ?
Change things, yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. There's noob, pwn, LOLZ, wah, and thanks. T-H-A-N-X.
Yeah, saves you time from having to type out K and S. Do you know how hard that is to do? That's two letter strokes instead of one. They done everyone a favor. Now you only have to lift up one tile instead of two extra ones.
Really, Scrabble? Really? I mean, is it not bad enough that you've included words now like twerking?
Oh, what?
You... Oh, I'm gonna go here.
I'm gonna go look for new words.
All right, here we go. If you thought that was bad, we got some more words for you. Don't worry. BZ, like your best friend, B-E-Z-Z-Y.
Okay.
Blech.
Okay. Although that should be the blech should be a word anyways, because it would be the literal meaning.
Blech.
Yeah.
Cake hole. Kaz, as in casual, C-H-A-Z.
Really? That's kind of.
Ew.
Ew.
Emoji.
Oh.
FaceTime.
Wait. No.
FaceTime.
That's a thing. Well.
Meaning to talk with someone via the FaceTime application.
See, that's an application. That's bullplap. They're pretty much Scrabble is giving them free advertisement for their app, pretty much.
Hacktivist. Hashtag.
What?
Ixnay.
Wait, but that's a word though, isn't it?
Ixnay?
Yeah.
That's pig Latin.
Well, yeah, that's true, I guess.
There's noob. Obs, meaning obviously. OBVS.
Obs, Scott, God.
Pwn. Sexting.
So Scott is a very unhappy Scrabble player.
I mean, they added shizzle.
What? Shizzle? As in for
they
shizzle,
added
manizzle?
shizzle.
Oh, for shiz.
Moving right along.
Enough of this.
Good thing, gaming guys. You can play noob, pwn, lol, stanks, and wah.
Wah.
So, Stefan, ready to feel old?
What do you mean?
The Nintendo Entertainment System is now getting its own museum exhibit to celebrate its 30th anniversary.
It's about time.
The Video Gaming Museum The Strong has announced that it will host a special exhibit dedicated to the system later this year.
Oh, yeah, but what other titles are they going to be putting up there? Like, are they going to have like something important? Like, are they going to have like a real Nintendo World Championships?
A variety of games will be playable at the exhibit. Super Mario Brothers and Duck Hunt. I mean...
Oh, including those. Okay, there's other ones as well. But still, like... Because you know that Nintendo's going to just use their own titles, because that's the way they've always been. They never say, like, you know, hey, we can't say that we owe any of our success to other games that we didn't do. Like, I don't know, a Ninja Turtles game or
right.
DuckTales or, you know...
It'll probably be the black box games.
Exactly, that's what I mean. But, I mean... So many other games.
The Strong's exhibit called Playing with Power 30 Years in the Nintendo Entertainment System will debut at the Rochester, New York Museum this fall.
Oh,
so there you go, folks. If you wanted to feel like you're a gamer, but you're 7,000 years old, go to the Strong Museum and look at the fact that the first gaming system that you may have ever had is now part of a museum exhibit.
Thankfully, it's not my first.
So, Pokemon Shuffle, which is a downloadable game for the Nintendo 3DS, has surpassed 4 million views. 4 million downloads. I'm not gonna lie, I play this game myself.
No.
Yeah. It's a Pokemon game, so...
I know.
Big fucking surprise, right? I play a Pokemon game. Oh, man, nobody would have ever known. Oh, Scott's a big Pokemon player. He plays the game? No way. But now that it's gone over 4 million downloads, it's going to be getting a new mythical shaman stage. So I guess it's probably going to be just as unbeatable as some of the other bullshit that they put into the game. See, this is my thing, okay? I love Pokemon Shuffle. I think it's a really well-made game, except for the fact that they put in some of the boss battles that are, you know, by itself, completely unbeatable. And by what I mean completely unbeatable, watch a Let's Play of somebody and watch them try to beat Mewtwo, like the Mega Mewtwo. You can't do it by yourself. You really cannot do it. If you can, fucking 5 stars to you, buddy. Because I tried playing it without the purchasable items, I want to say 50 fucking times. And I am a very avid puzzle player. It cannot be done. This is the problem with it. If you don't have the extra, you know, the in-game money to be able to spend to buy the items for it, you got to start paying for it. And the problem with it is that the way that the game works is that you beat Pokemon A, you move on to B. You beat B, you move on to C. You get stuck at Mewtwo, you can't progress in the game any farther. Oh, you don't have the stuff to be able to buy the items? Well, hack in a couple dollars for us. We'll beat it for you real easy. That's the part of it that I'm not a big fan of. I understand it's a free-to-play game. But at the same time, even if it's a free-to-play game, I don't think you should put barricades in there that are actually not capable of being beaten unless you're like in the top 0.1 percentile of puzzle players without having to purchase stuff.
Come on, Scott, get up your game, dude. What's wrong with you?
I don't know. But again,
sounds to me like you need to go over to like South Korea somewhere and learn like a pro.
You know what? I'm gonna just pack my bags right now, and I'm gonna go on a quest. I'm gonna find like the ancient monastery of puzzle gamers, and I'm gonna spend 8 months there, and I'm gonna come back a fucking king.
So you heard it all now, everybody. His next YouTube series is gonna.
My puzzle, my Tibetan puzzle challenges. The 8-month struggle, but anyway, I don't know if you've played Dragonquest 8. I played it when it was on the PS2, and it is a masterpiece of an RPG.
Indeed, it is. It looks incredible as well.
And it is going to be moving over to the 3DS. Awesome! Now more people are going to get to play it. Except it's moving to the 3DS, and it's not going to support 3D. What?
Oh, so basically it's not going to support 3D because of the way it looks already, probably?
I guess, but it just doesn't
make sense.
It doesn't make sense. If you're going to go to the 3DS, go through the effort of making sure it can be played on 3D. I mean, isn't that the idea of being on the 3DS? I mean, that's...
That or to get more of the market back into playing that game.
Well, sure.
A lot more people are doing the handheld thing now because, of course, everyone likes their phones and 3DSs and consoles on the go. I don't know. I personally, I've always been someone... I'd rather sit down to play my games. I'd rather, have some time. I like a screen that I can actually, move my head and see it instead of, having to look at this little tiny screen and like, what the hell is that? What is that? Is that a clock or is that a picture? I don't know.
So, yeah, so it's going to be moving over to the 3DS. It's not going to support 3D, and it's going to have a Japanese release on August 27th. And we don't have a release date yet for North America.
I'm so sorry.
I'm so sorry too, because if this thing hit North America, the day it releases, I'm buying it. Because Dragon Quest 8 was just so good, and I would play it again.
Well, just play it on PS2 then.
I don't know now on PS2. That's the problem. But last thing that I have for news is this game's a little bit older. By older, I mean like a few months. But I found this today, and I thought I would share it with everybody. This game is a 2D combat platformer called Grimstone. And from what I'm understanding, this Grimstone game has a lot of Dark Soul influence to it, which I know one of you that's listening to this right now, that's going to apply to you. But if you've watched my channel over the last couple weeks, you know that I'm all about playing difficult 2D platformers. And the few screenshots I've seen of Grimstorm, they look pretty good. And not only does the game look pretty good, and it's going to be a difficult 2D platformer, it's free.
Ooh, nice.
So you have absolutely no excuse to not go download this game right now and play yourself some Grimstorm. I mean, after done podcast, of course, but yeah, I mean, it very much does have like a very Dark Soul-y theme to it. I mean, it does get, a little Castlevania, a little Shovel Knight, a little, this and that, but it looks really good.
Very pixelicious.
Yeah, so that's what I got for you this week, Stefan. So on to you.
Well, for this week, there's quite a few things that we have. The first thing I'm going to talk about here actually is a Kickstarter for a piece of hardware that is kind of crazy looking. It's called the Arduboy. It's a card-sized gaming device using the Arduino, and basically plays 8-bit games. You'll see a picture of it there, but this thing is thin. It's it's obviously it's thicker than a credit card, but it's fairly thin, and it's about the size of a credit card, realistically, though.
Yeah, but when they have the gold back one down there, they're spinning it around. It's not very thick at all.
No, and actually they have a bunch of different colors for it. The other thing is that it uses an OLED display, which is really nice because it means it's going to have really crystal clear display for it.
That'll be nice.
8+ hour battery life, and it's rechargeable. And again, because it's an Arduino, it's programmable, which means that you can make your own games, and quite easily.
That'll be cool.
It's really tiny. That's the only thing that concerns me is I have kind of big thumbs, and I'm watching the guy playing it, and I'm like, your thumbs look kind of thin compared to mine, dude. And I'm like,
right.
That's the only thing I'm worried about. But the screen it's very interesting. It looks very clear, and the some of the games are just really funny, like Arjuman, which is, I guess, their version of Pokemon. And if you look at the little image there, we have Bobasaur versus Squaddle. I thought that was hilarious. But
they better be careful. They better be careful. I mean,
that's true. Well, I would imagine that he's just doing that until he can get the licensing to probably put those type of games there. But Cascade Path, which looks a lot like Oregon Trail.
Oregon Trail on the road. Hey guys, we're going on a road trip. Let's see who dies before we get there.
Scott will die of breaking an arm, dysentery, and
I'll break an arm. Yeah. I'll get dysentery, then get bit by a snake, and then fucking die of the hives.
But yeah, this is all based around black and white screen, 8-bit gaming. And like I said, because it's an open source and using an Arduino board, you can actually share your games with people. And it's also going to have, he's going to put free online tutorials to guide you through developing your own software and making your own games. So I thought it was a very interesting thing. It looks like there was a mock-up version of Flappy Bird there as well. There's also another thing that I thought was interesting, is that they have this education kit. So more or less, it's an easy way to show younger people or people who are just starting out in college dip their feet into the water by giving them one of these Arduino board or Arduino boys, and being able to learn how to do basic gaming and then just keep working from there. I think it's a great idea.
Yeah, it's also they look like they're going to be just very, very cheap too. And I don't mean by product. I mean they're going to be very affordable.
Yes. And they're only looking for $25,000. They've already gotten $341,000.
Right.
And they still have 13 days left. They've, I think, went over by, I think they said 500% or something, or 2,000. You'd probably know. You're a math person.
Oh, percentage? Let's see. 25. That's into 250. The 140. 1,400%.
Yeah, there you go. So 1,400%.
Yeah, so
that's a huge increase.
Yeah, but these things for the early backers, it was $29 to own one, and they're already all gone. The early backers, it's just hey, pledge $29 and you get one. Gone.
You can also you can use a laser engraver to make your own design, to make your own custom I guess backing for the little machine. And right. It is really it's a pretty strong little device. It uses what it has USB 2.0 built in there. It only uses 32K flash memory, 2.5 kilobytes of RAM, and 1 kilobyte of EEP RAM. memory as well. But yeah, like I said, as small as it is, and I know that doesn't sound like a lot of memory, but you're talking about 8-bit games as well. So
right.
It's very interesting. I would imagine that because it has the USB port, that you can just offload your games and load up other ones as you want. So therefore, you can just increase your library as much as you want, and all it is as long as you have space on your computer, which, I mean, if the largest memory size is 32K, as long as you have 100 megabytes, you could pretty much have a library for this thing for like hundreds of years. So
right. And I think like just something that's completely unrelated to that. I think it's hilarious to me that they actually have a $1 million stretch goal.
Yeah.
that the founder of these Arduboys will actually change his first name to Arduboy if they make up to $1 million.
Mm-hmm.
I almost want to see it happen.
Well, why not? I mean, I guess he'd be like one of those one-name person like Cher or Sting.
My name is Arduboy.
Is that your first name or last name? Yep. So yeah, go and check out the Kickstarter there. This guy's after... he has a bunch of pictures here with like famous people. Like will.i.am from the Black Eyed Peas, Bill Nye, the science guy, the creator of the Arduino board itself. Just, I don't know, it's really crazy. I guess he's really showing off his device, and I guess it's getting people kind of excited. Sorry. So anyways, moving on. Another trailer came out for Yoshi's Woolly World, and it's all about... Oh, I just went to the trailer itself. It's all about the amiibos, and basically, from what I can gather, and from what I've heard, is that any amiibo that's been released so far will unlock a new custom Yoshi skin for that character. So, I mean, obviously, if you get a Samus, everyone who has a Samus will get the same Samus skin, but, like, it will be a new custom skin, so depending on which amiibos you have, you're going to get a bunch of different, skins for your Yoshis once you get the game. So, I thought that was just pretty interesting that they're trying to incorporate them, and it almost makes me want to get some of the ones that are exclusive to Japan, like they have a Captain Toad for the, I guess, the game that they put out for him. And I'm just wondering, would you get like a little Captain Toad Yoshi? I think that'd be kind of cute.
I would honestly I'd be interested to see like a Sonic Yoshi. Or if he starts to try to run, he's just gonna fall on his face. Like, gotta go fast.
And then when his legs start spinning, would it be like the same thing that he does when he's in the air? Just,
oh man. Can you imagine what would happen if that would be in Smash? It's like 7,000 hits, you're already dead.
Oh my god!
But
Jesus.
I mean, the ones that they show Mario, they show Link, and they show Donkey Kong. That's pretty cool. Mm-hmm. I think that's actually pretty neat. And the fact that it works with like every amiibo, that's gonna be like, oh, see, yeah, there you go, Zero Suit Yoshi.
Oh, well, what? That's kind of weird.
I'm not sure how I feel about that. Oh, God forbid you get Wario in there, man. He does like his fart thing and like 1,000 eggs all fly out. Ugh, that's gonna be horrible.
Okay.
And gave me the visual.
Also, if you see the video, they go really up close to the Yoshis, and like they're really well done. Like you can see the little bits of. I guess of the wool coming off from the knitted parts, like you would see on an actual sweater. And I thought that was very unique, and like I said, it's very up close, so it actually looks like everything is done individually. It's not like just this progressive, everything's kind of the same, but has a kind of pattern to it. It actually all looks like it's all like random stuff. It's nice. So
yeah, they do look very nice.
Next thing on the agenda, another Nintendo inspired item. Humble Bundle. If you guys haven't checked it out, we are recording this on a Wednesday, and it comes out on a Saturday. So the new Humble Bundles come out today. The new Humble Bundle for today is for the Nintendo. And if you go over and look there, it's most, as far as I know, I think it's all indie games that are available on the 3DS and the Wii U, I believe. Like Guacamelee, Whoa Dave, Mighty Switch Force, Stealth Inc. 2, SteamWorld Dig, The Fall, Ollie Ollie, Moon Chronicles, and more games are coming soon, apparently. So throughout the week, there could be more games added to this, depending on how many people buy the bundle. And this is for, a lot of these games are either for the 3DS or the Wii U, and a couple of them there are actually for both. So it's a lot of good choices, and you get to pay what you want. The first tier is obviously pay what you want. The second tier is after $9.25. Another one's after pay $10. You get 2 extra games as well. So I mean, and they are supporting code.org. Which are dedicated to expanding participation in computer science by making it available in more schools and increasing participation by women and underrepresented students of color. Wow, that sounded very... Whoa. Anyways, so, yeah, I thought that was really smart of... They actually got it called Humble Nindy Bundle. Right. But I think it's smart of Nintendo to jump in on this as quickly as they did, and they've already the bundles are just selling by the second here. They're almost up to 40,000 right now. So and like I said, it only opened today. So, and in total, this is $88 worth of indie games for the 3DS and Wii U. So.
Yeah, so far.
Indeed.
Not including the other stuff that they put in there. But, I mean, I've played some of these games. I've played Switch Force. I've played Guacamelee is a really good game.
I was wondering about that. I was looking at it, and I thought it looked weird, but then I noticed that there was a lot of coverage for it.
Guacamelee is basically, it's a 2D platformer, but it's about luchadors.
Yes. That much
so,
I gathered.
But, oh, man. And the combat system in Guacamelee is really good. And it's not even part of, like, the whole you need to pay more than X amount. This is one of those games you can go in, donate $1, and get that game for your Wii U. It's really good. And, you know, Switch Force itself is really good. But Guacamelee, you know, even if you're only going to, like, donate the $1 or $2 or whatever just to get those games, Guacamelee itself is worth it. So if you got a Wii U and you got a couple dollars, I would go over and I would get that right away, because those 2 games alone are worth, like, those couple dollars.
Indeed. I'm probably going to go and pick that up myself later today.
Yeah, Guacamelee, like I said, that game alone is worth the entire Humble Bundle itself. If you pay that more than $10, you're going to get the other 8 games, plus the other games that are to come, too. So it's like, to me, $10 is worth the Wii U, the Super Turbo Championship Edition for Guacamelee. Mm-hmm. I would say this is one of the better Humble Bundles that I've seen in quite some time.
Not only that, complimentary ambulance, by the way. Gotta have a siren, because it wouldn't be a recording if I didn't have one.
Yeah, oh well, it started to rain here earlier, so you probably heard that too.
But I thought it was very smart. As far as I know, Nintendo is the first console to go and do this thing with Humble Bundle. As far as I know. Okay. We get a bit of rain, and then people...
Well, you know how that is. You know, whenever it rains, it's the dehydrated... the truck of dehydrated assholes on wheels overturns. Of course, every time.
All the time.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you're right on this. I don't remember any other, like, console doing this.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure you're right on that.
So they jumped into it first, and good on them for doing that. Let's keep moving in the right direction, Nintendo. Just fix the Nintendo World Championships.
Good luck.
Again,
that's like this weekend. Good luck with that.
Yeah, really though. Something bad that happened to Nintendo recently, though. Lorry transporting Splatoon shipment has been stolen. Basically, a lorry that was transporting the shipment of the Splatoon stock that was going to the UK has been stolen. I don't have much in regards to what they have to say about it. They just have they just say that it was stolen, so the allocation for their Splatoon and the Squid Inkling amiibo and like the special editions or whatever, they're not going to have them there for the 29th of May. That being said, they're going to be offering a discounted price of they're going to be taking £10 off of the game itself for the special edition, and orders of the game will be sent first class post on May 29th when it's supposed to be released. People can still cancel the order, do whatever they want, or complete the order, all depending on what they want to do. But they're trying their best, to, I guess, to kind of make up for it. But how do you lose an entire shipment of games?
We're talking about a lorry, which, for us people in North America, is just basically a tractor trailer truck. That's what a lorry is. So that's a lot of shit to lose. That's a lot.
Where do you lose the whole shipment to, though? Like, I don't know. Maybe it was where it was coming from. I'm not sure, but I know that like if you go to eBay, one of the places that they try not to sell any gaming stuff to is Italy, because apparently in Italy a lot of couriers get I guess mugged or whatever, and they steal all the stuff. So I don't know. Maybe it was something like that, but. Seriously, a whole tractor trailer full of games just gone, and no one has any info on it. It's Nintendo. It's not like it's a small company like that's based out of like buttfuck nowhere.
I have no explanation. And then the I mean, not just the games, but the amiibos too.
Next time, send Samus.
Yeah, we'll have to. Check out the UK GameStops, where it's like some guy's gonna randomly come in like, I'd like to trade in 40 copies of this game. I got a lot of them for Christmas. Everybody bought me the same game.
So actually, keep that in mind. If you see anybody shady in the UK selling games out of the back of their, selling Splatoon out of the back of their vehicle, then that could be a very questionable person. Either get yourself a good deal first and then contact the authorities, or. Anyways, oh god. Moving on. I know we've been talking about Lego a lot in these podcasts as well, and it's just because they've been doing stuff lately. Apparently, it's been rumored that a Minecraft-styled Lego game could be in development. I think if that happens, they're going to grab a lot of people a lot faster, because Lego... Well, a lot of younger kids already know how to play Minecraft as it is. But if they have someone like Lego coming in there and showing them how to do it properly, because they will put in tutorials and show them exactly how everything works, then this will definitely, like, I think it's going to take over, like, pretty quickly. Like, people are going to get really into this Lego building. I mean, Lego's been around for years. And actually, another part of news was that I didn't actually include there. I just seen it while I was, surfing by. Is that a lot of mods recently for like Call of Duty and Battlefield and whatnot have these new mods where they change the characters to be Lego people, so that when you shoot them, their bodies just kind of explode into like Lego parts, which would make me almost want to play those games. Sadly enough, I'm sorry I have to say that I'm not a Call of Duty person. I used to play Counter-Strike 1.6 once upon a time, but other than that, like I was never like huge FPS, but like. If they put out a Lego FPS game, or even this Minecraft-style Lego game, I'm probably going to play the crap out of it. I'm not going to lie. All the Lego games that have been put out so far have been pretty good. Even the old PC ones.
I can't argue with it, because it's just everything that's been, Lego Batman, Lego Back to the Future, Lego Lord of the Rings. They've all been like multi-million massive sellers. So, and every one of the games, like every place that gives them reviews or giving them like the highest reviews that they can get, clearly they're doing something right. So why not take the same formula and say, hey, Lego X is amazingly popular and amazingly good. Why don't we find one of the biggest video games that's being played to date and slap Lego in front of it? Oh, right. So we're going to go Lego Minecraft. How it couldn't possibly sell like 7 billion copies, I have no idea.
Yeah, I know. I mean, find one kid growing up who didn't enjoy playing with Lego at one time or another. I find it hard to find those kids unless they're like impoverished countries where they don't even know what Lego is. I mean, and even then they probably think about, man, it would be so awesome to have some block type things that could snap together and make things with. It's Lego. It's awesome.
If you know what Lego is, you've played with Legos at some point in your life.
Indeed.
It's just that plain and simple. There's zero chance it hasn't happened. And if you are, and if you say that you are lying.
So,
but I cannot. There's no way. There's no way that this game could not be just one of the best-selling games of all time. It says Lego. It says Minecraft. That's like saying steak and beer. It clearly goes together.
Yeah, that's true. And I'm pretty sure Lego's after already putting out Minecraft sets that you can make anyways. So it was going in that direction either way. The next piece of news there is Batman Arkham Knight trailer that was released recently shows that the PS4 is going to have exclusive content. So I guess there's mixed reviews about that. Some people say they don't care. Other people say they were expecting it. Other people are just, well, pissed off. But, I mean, you got to expect that nowadays. I mean, if one company gets a foot over the other, of course they're going to try and, do something that the other one can't do. So, I mean, you almost got to expect that. But, I mean, I didn't really look into it too much. I think it's just that the DLC or an expansion pack or something is going to be included with the PS4 version already.
Yeah, from what I'm seeing, it's going to be including a Justice League 3000 skin for him, which, for what I'm saying, it looks pretty awesome. You're going to be getting also Scarecrow Nightmare missions, and just like the graphics for these missions, holy crap, do they look awesome! Oh, yeah. I mean, holy hell, it looks just so good. But the fact that it's going to be a PS4 exclusive is like, I don't own a PS4, guys. I'm a PC guy, so
yeah.
And it also looks like it's going to be coming with a classic Adam West TV Batman skin.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
What? I'm sorry, but I can't see that being good. That would just look too silly for this game, dude.
I'm looking at it. It's Adam West, yo. That's all I can say. It's literally Adam West. It's like the ridiculous black and purple and the bright ass yellow the utility belt.
At least they made it like have like his cape look shiny and nice.
Yeah,
like they didn't make it look cheesy, like...
Oh, and apparently the Batmobile is going to be like the old Adam West TV Batmobile, too.
Oh, God.
Instead of, like, the new one from, like, the Dark Knight and crap like that. It's going to be, like, the old one.
So, yeah, they're including all this extra content on the PS4 version, which, again, some people cared, some people didn't. It's
nice that they're getting new content, but it would be nice if somebody else got content other than the owners of PS4s, which,
Well, I mean, if it comes out for PC, you know that people are going to mod the shit out of it anyways. They're probably going to come out with the same skins, if not better ones. It's just the way people do shit.
Right.
They'll just hack the game and be like, okay, well, here, we got them now for the PC. If they're... Well, I would imagine they would have released that for the PC. If they didn't, they'd be a bit stupid for that, I think.
Yeah. But, yeah, I mean... Oh, jeez. But, yeah, I mean, the visuals on most of this stuff, this PS4 exclusive stuff, looks pretty good.
It does. It looks really nice. And I haven't played any of the new Batman games. I've been holding out for a little while just because, well, I've got enough games as it is to try and catch up on, let alone trying to play all these new ones. Plus, I don't have a PS4. But
there you go.
It does look really nice. It looks incredible, actually. So, geez, games just keep looking better and better anyways, it seems.
All right. And this Batman update, I really hope that this stuff moves over to PC, because, like, that Scarecrow Nightmare mission looks just bleh, godlike. Oh, I'm sorry. Did I say bleh? That's worth 9 points in Scrabble, I think.
Oh, jeez. Just a little quick note here. And they didn't really say much about this. It's just Uncharted 4 is going to be arriving on PS4 by March 31st, 2016. So if you're waiting for that game, you won't have to wait any more than a year. Well, less than a year, so...
Keep waiting. It'll be there eventually.
And I believe Street Fighter V is coming out in April of 2016.
Not soon enough.
I know. Scott has a boner.
Yeah, I'm just Street Fighter fan, man. I can't help it. They haven't released enough characters for it yet, so I'm okay with waiting. We've only been shown a couple characters so far, so I'm all right with taking a little bit of time and making sure that my favorite characters are going to be there. I mean, they've already done like 3 Polished Nash, which I'm like, oh, okay, this is interesting, but not soon enough.
The next piece of news here is another trailer for a psychological open-world horror game known as Kholat. And I don't know if you've watched the trailer for it.
I have not.
It looks good. It looks really good. And it's on the Unreal 4 engine, obviously. And I think the last podcast we were talking about Umbra, that was on the Unreal 4, wasn't it?
Something like that.
Something like that. Anyways, yeah, just the title for it alone, a psychological open world horror game. There's so many directions that could go in. I could see a lot of people playing this as a Let's Play. I mean, with all the people who do horror on YouTube now as it is, if this thing's supposed to be like scary, then yeah, I can see a lot of people jumping to this right away.
I don't know. I'm kind of not really getting a scary... I'm not really getting much of a horror vibe from it.
It just looks like it's
It kind of, to me, it looks
Skyrim.
like it's... Yeah. That I cannot actually describe it any better than that. So I mean,
Ooh.
Don't get me wrong, it looks beautiful, but I'm not really getting where we're getting a psychological horror.
Now, from what I can see in the trailer, there's this huge dust cloud that's coming around. So I don't know, maybe it has something to do with that. When night falls, maybe this dust cloud comes out and people can't.
What a horrible night for a curse.
So yeah, just go and give that a check out. Let us know what you think about it down in the comments, because again, being an open world horror game, and what you see there in the game itself is not really enough to give you enough idea of what the game is going to be like. But like I said, it looks nice. Like I said, a dark Skyrim, I guess, is the best way of looking at it. But tell us what you think or what you're looking forward to in an open world horror game. That would be a great topic, I think. Moving on to, I think we have one more thing, which is a Kickstarter. And I think I'm going to let you talk about this one, Scott.
You have the link, because I think I forgot the link.
Okay, 1 second.
Oh, there it is. Okay, there it is.
Got it.
So this Kickstarter that I found is called The Aquatic Adventure of the Last Human. And this is a very interesting game. But what I've seen, they're only looking for just over $6,300 to be able to make this game. And it's an open world underwater adventure game.
Yep.
So this the game, the graphic wise, gives me it's like very I'm gonna forget the name of the game again. The treasure adventure game.
Oh, the one that I was playing.
Yeah. It looks very, graphically it looks very much like that.
8-bit, yeah.
But the game itself, it lies a lot in exploration, a lot in story, and mostly boss battles. And for the for the little bit that they've shown, they haven't shown us too much gameplay, but the boss battle gameplay we've seen so far looks pretty epic.
Indeed. What I said when I first seen the trailer for the game was that it reminded me a lot of a game on the Sega Genesis called Subterranea. The way that you're in a little ship, but you're in a sub in the ocean as opposed to a spaceship, in a contained level. Because, I mean, this thing's open world, so, I mean, you're progressively going to different parts of the ocean, whereas in Subterranea, you were only in a specific, enclosed area where you were supposed to do your mission, you do it, and you're finished. But the way that you're moving around, again, reminded me a lot of that, and I can see what you mean by Treasure Adventure game being similar to the graphics and stuff.
Yeah, it just... So, I mean, it's not going to be one of those super, like, oh, my, the graphics are so real. I mean, it's clearly going to be, like, 8-bit
nostalgia. It's good, good retro graphics.
Yeah,
I like it.
Thank you, retro. That's what I was looking for. But, some of the small pictures that they're showing us of, like, the boss battles in the game, like, you fight an entire school of sharks. You fight a giant octopus.
A giant crab. There's a lantern, or one of those anglerfish with the... big scary eyes and teeth with the little, light in front of its face or in front of its mouth.
Right.
Like, it looks cool. I like it.
Yeah, it looks really good.
And just the preface of the game title itself, The Aquatic Adventure of the Last Human. So, I mean, that itself just has some kind of intrigue and awe in it, just knowing that, you're the last human and you're just going on an aquatic adventure. Presumably, I would imagine looking for people or some way to, have more people or something along those lines. I'm kind of interested in what the story is going to be about.
Right. And for their pledge goals, of all the Kickstarters that I've seen so far, you have, like, these rewards for, like, if you, donate $5, we say thank you. You donate $1 billion, we give you a copy of the game or whatever. Their reward system for this game is very, very cheap.
Yeah.
So, like, for to be able to actually get the game, you pledge X amount, you get the game. For this game, this Aquatic Adventures of the Last Human, to actually get the game and get your name in the credits is $5.71.
Mm-hmm. That's not much at all.
That's like nothing.
Yeah.
You get your name in the game and you get a copy of it for less than $6. I'm very much probably going to be backing this project.
Yeah, I don't see why not.
Because it's like, for $6, my name's going to be in the credits and I get a copy of a game that I think looks pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
Sign me the fuck up.
Indeed.
And for their most expensive one that they had, which was it's more for, like, if it was more for somebody who, like, lives in their area, they were gonna cook a meal for you. They're gonna make, like, a short movie in your honor if you live someplace else, and you get to create your own boss for the game. So, like, you get to create content for the stuff. They would Skype you to, and to talk about it, and you would get all of the previous rewards. They were only asking for, like, $350 for that. I mean, it's already gone. But, I mean...
Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
Most of those other things where it's like, oh, if you want all of the crap, you need to donate $15,000. You need to donate $10,000 and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
$350. So, I mean, for all of their stuff, I mean, it's just... You get, let's see here, $85. You get, they're going to adopt an animal in your name. You get a T-shirt.
The next one is they will send you a Swedish frozen pizza that they will buy you, and they'll write you a song for you to enjoy your meal, and you also get to sketch out a creature of any kind that will add it in the game in pixel art form.
Plus all the other stuff. It's like, this is actually, like, some of the things that they're doing. Like, really? They're not like other rewards where it's like you're going to be getting special edition, gold plated. You're going to have like a 6,000 girls who are going to all have 7,000 golden dildos who are going to, pleasure you and all that crap. They're doing weird stuff, but they're doing weird things where it's like, extra copies of the game, a digital comic hand drawn by the programmer,
personal postcards sent to your doorstep.
Right. A special underwater copy of Keep Walking. What? You get a personal fish made.
I read that one too. A special underwater copy of Keep Walking.
they're going to adopt an animal in your name, and you get a T-shirt plus all the other stuff. You're gonna get a Swedish frozen pizza. What?
That sounds good.
Okay, yeah. Well, I'm not gonna die. I'm not gonna die. I'm never gonna die. I'm not gonna lie. This is like honestly the most unique Kickstarter I have ever seen. They're not asking for much. They have half of the money that they need so far. They only need $6,400 to get off the ground. They only have 21 days left. If you guys have a couple dollars to throw towards these guys, $6 gets you the game, guys. $6. Go over there, throw them $6 and help these guys out because the game looks like it's gonna be awesome.
Indeed.
I think I just came upon something, and I'm not sure whether or not this is a thing.
Okay.
But apparently, there's going to be like a Canadian release of new Amiibos that are going to that is going to include a Silver Mario. And for what I'm to understand, this is like a potentially Canadian release.
Ooh, baby. I hope so.
Okay, so posted by Cognitive. I'm just going to read what this says. The next wave of Nintendo Amiibos is ready to invade retail shelves Friday, May 29th, 2015. This next wave will include a number of different series, such as New Super Smash Brothers. Wait a minute, hold on. I want to see if this article is not May 29th. It says Jigglypuff, Charizard, Greninja, Robin, Ness, Wario, and Lucina. I thought some of these were out already. I don't know what I found here. Nintendo will also be releasing Amiibo figures for Splatoon, specifically a 3-pack made up of Inking Girl, Inking Boy, and Inking Squid. But Inking Girl and Inking Boy will be sold separately. According to the spelling here. Finally, the Amiibo release on Friday includes a Silver Mario variant that's expected to be extremely rare. Huh. So there you go. Sorry. But maybe this is just a Canadian thing, because it's on Canadian Online Gaming Network, so... Let us know what you find, Stefan.
Indeed. I've already got a gold one, so a silver one would be fantastic.
Just a little insert there.
Indeed.
So, which is better? Older gaming or newer gaming? Oh boy, where do I begin? Anybody, I'm just going to go to this again. Anybody who knows me knows exactly how I feel about gaming. And I could sit here and be shoveled shit all day, but there's no way you're going to tell me that newer games are better than retro. Are better than the older games. I could sit... I have been playing, the NES games for apparently 30 years. Because apparently I'm old enough to be in a goddamn museum.
Apparently.
So, and I can still sit down and play The Legend of Zelda on an NES and still have a good time with it.
I would actually prefer to do it that way anyways.
Right.
Over, and even like playing games with people, I would sooner sit on a couch with someone and play a game than play it online, or I'm playing on my Wii U and you play on your. Like, I don't know, it's just not as sociable that way.
Right. I mean, I used to have a friend where we would get together every weekend. We would take 2 TVs, set them back to back, and speed run Resident Evil 2.
Jesus.
And this is what we used to do. And like that sort of a thing is like, I just don't feel that those sort of social interactions just exist anymore,
No.
because I mean it kind of has taken away that whole, hey Joe, do you want to come over to my place and play some Nintendo? Yeah, sure, I'll come over to your place. And you'd have your friends over and we would all just sit around a TV and bullshit, and that part of gaming is gone. And I think that's like, I don't know, there's I don't know, I'm a very social guy. I like to, have people here. It's like, if I can have my friend here, I would rather have him here than talk to him online.
Yeah.
Present company excluded, because we only know each other online, because, we live 1,000 miles away from each other. But that's a different thing.
Yeah.
If I want, buddy A or buddy B, it's like, hey, I want to, play some, fighting games. Hey, why don't you come here and we'll play them instead of like playing them online? Because I think, the social aspect of saying, having your friends here and playing on a console and everybody's here all at once, it's like, okay, now that we're done with gaming, we can do other stuff together. As to where, like, it's become, I don't know, I think I have a lack of a better term, but gaming has become less personal.
Yes, it has. Well,
Where
I mean,
it's like,
if you get pissed off with someone, or if someone does something you don't like, you can just turn off the game and walk away, and there's no repercussions. Whereas if you do it with the person there, they can slap you in the face and be like, what are you doing?
Right. So it's like the great example, honestly, a great example, because if I had my friends over and they did something that pissed me off, and it's like, oh yeah, blah blah blah, I get pissed off at it, but my friends are right there. Do I really want to say something stupid? It's like, oh, you're an asshole, blah, 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 fuck you, blah, blah, blah. Which I could say things that could potentially ruin a friendship. So instead of doing that, you cool yourself off. It's like, okay, it's just a game, whatever. Where to like current gaming is, where you're online, you're at your computer, you're at your Xbox, where somebody does something to piss you off, you turn it off and scream at yourself in the mirror, or, it's made it so that another social thing, where when I growing up and playing games with friends in a personal thing, like sitting in a living room or whatnot, you learn to, I don't know, you learn to curb emotion sometimes, where it's like, instead of just getting upset with people and yelling and blah blah blah, screaming, we're now on the internet. It's like, oh, this person, you could sit there and scream at your computer screen all day long and they're never going to hear you.
Yeah.
But that doesn't, you're not learning anything by doing that. You're just getting angry, as to where you're having your friends over and being, okay, I don't want to sit there and scream at them because they're going to get mad at me, and then they're never going to come over and we're never going to get to play again. I think that's like that little bit of learning social behavior, which I think like the current gaming generation has just plain old lost.
Oh, God, yes. Well, I mean, a lot of things have changed from the way everything used to be. I mean, I have a lot of memories, and I think about them a lot of times when I'm working on reviews and stuff, where, like, you think about when you first got... Like, when I first played Mega Man 2, I remember, like, the game that I was playing most at the time, Mario and Duck Hunt, because that's all I had. I had that and I think Ninja Gaiden, and at that point, I was really pissed off the game. And anyways, so I went to go and rent a new game at the store, which was, Mega Man 2, and I can remember, like, turning it over and looking at the back of this box and seeing, like, this little blue dude with this little, what people would say, oh, that looks kind of, crappy, because this little blue dude shooting his lemon. But for me back then, I was like, oh my god, look at this guy. It looks like more like a person than Mario did in the first game, and he's actually shooting stuff. He doesn't use mushrooms. Okay, what's all? And I think it was in Bubble Man stage, where it's one of those fish with the lights on it, where they shoot at shrimp.
Yeah.
What is it? That was on the back, and I was just like, oh wow, that looks interesting. And just like hearing the music, every time I hear the music, it reminds me of when I was like, 5 or 6 and I first played the game. And I don't know, like with that nowadays, I don't get that. Like I don't go back and play like, I'm trying to even think of a newish game at all that's somewhat has some age to it that I would even. Like, even Mario Kart Double Dash. Like, I have some memories of that, but it's like, okay, when I was in college playing with some guys, and that was kind of it. Whereas, like, I'm after seeing that game and hearing so much about it and seeing it on TV and seeing it in magazines and everything else. And back then it was like, if you're going to hear about a game, it was a Nintendo Power. That's it. Like, maybe a comic.
Right.
And now it's everywhere, dude. It's hard not to know what video gaming is because it's everywhere. Whereas back then it was like, playing video games, you were quote unquote a nerd, and you were kind of ridiculed about that kind of thing. But I mean, now no one ridicules you for being a gamer because it's such a big part of, I guess, people's social lives now that it's accepted everywhere. I mean, and just the different people that play now compared to the people that played back in those days, back in the 80s and 90s, are completely different people. Like, you got these, well, quote unquote, people who, just play their Call of Duties and stuff that probably wouldn't even play any of the stuff that we played back in the day.
Right.
And they don't even want to know about that stuff. Which is, I don't know, it's kind of sad if you think about it. I mean, those games probably wouldn't be where they are if they didn't, have the Nintendo and have the Atari from back in the day.
Yeah. I mean, okay, so I'm going to sit here and play devil's advocate against myself. Where it's like, there are, the older games like Mega Man and whatnot who are, clearly just classic games. Mm-hmm. And then you have games nowadays which are, like the modern classics. Let me try to figure out some of them, like Halo or something like that. It's a modern classic.
Yep.
And you could just sit and be like, hey, while I like my retro gaming, I can sit down, I can play Halo and recognize that it's an amazing game.
Yeah.
And the problem nowadays is I think we are coming up with less and less classic games. As to where, like, back in, like, the Nintendo and the Genesis era, there were so many games that were so good.
But so different from each other because they're pretty much the originators of those genres. That was the thing with that, right?
But you want to, like now, it's like, okay, you get games like, Halo, classic. Mm-hmm. Okay, obviously. Call of Duty, classic. Battlefield, but here's a problem. They're all the same.
But then you go back to something that's more retro in regards to FPS, and you say GoldenEye 007.
The definitive classic
for FPS.
From where all of these games started.
Mm-hmm. Having a deathmatch with your friends and using only throwing knives, and one of your friends is really good with the little aim thing on the R button, and they always get you in the head, and then you want to fucking punch them.
And then you got that one friend that you have to kick out of the game because they're like, but Oddjob's the best character in the game. No, fuck you! You don't play with Oddjob, you fucking cheating little motherfucker. But
oh my.
But so I think there's two sides to this coin when it comes to retro gaming versus modern gaming. Mm-hmm. Modern gaming has all of like the amazing graphics, has like all of the like just amazing technology, so you could do more things that you could not do before.
Now, that's the thing to be said about some of the modern gaming, though, is the indie gamers, the indie developers. They're the ones that are putting out the games that retro people want to play.
Right.
The ones who are putting out games like Treasure Adventure Game or Treasure Adventure World and Rogue Legacy, putting out Castle in the Darkness, the one that you're playing, Battle Kid. Like, those are all very retro-styled, retro-feeling games. And all those indie games that are like that, they, like, grab me up immediately. I'd rather play those than something that's, oh, wow, look, Solid Snake, you can see where he burned himself with a cigarette 3 years ago. Who gives a shit? I don't care. If I wanted to see that, I'd go look at someone's grandfather. I don't care about that. I want to play something that's fun, that's entertaining, that's not within the real confinements of the world. Like, you know what, Call of Duty, that's great fun and stuff. It's, soldiers shooting people like they do now. But I'd rather play Mega Man for the fact that there are no robots out there fighting robot masters and trying to save the world from Dr. Wily, because that's not a thing. That's way more interesting to me than, oh, you're going on a mission to, take out this person. And, like, I don't play those games because I don't find them interesting. I don't like the stories for them at all.
Right.
And that's something to be said about retro games. The stories for retro games were always there.
Yeah. And I think you're getting at a point where I think nowadays we're getting fewer and fewer games that are actually grabbing our attention.
Yes.
Where games like, I want to like kind of like just like scrape at like that middle portion of like where retro gaming and modern gaming, and like games like Shadow of the Colossus.
Yeah.
Which were so amazing. But look at the game.
Mm-hmm.
There's a very, very large portion of that game of which you do nothing.
Yeah, ride around on your horse.
But the thing
kill
is,
lizards.
But the story of the game is so good that you don't mind doing that much for that long.
Exactly. You want to know more about the next Colossus that you have to face, and you want to know, more about what's happening between, the woman that's there on the slab of stone and, the protagonist of the game itself. Aggro! Oh, never mind.
Aggro! No! But then you also... hold on one second. But, you also are looking at, games like Call of Duty, like, Battlefield, which are all the same crap.
Mm-hmm.
And then they shovel this shit out all the time. It's like... but people keep buying it. And
But Scott, you can get yourself a really fancy knife.
But this is the problem, is that gamers, like newer gamers, like gamers, I think, like, let me just say, like gamers of the past 10 years, okay? Like gamers who, I want to say, who are like now maybe in like their late teens, early 20s, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Who have not played games like we have, like the super classic games like GoldenEye and Chrono Trigger and, classic Sonic games,
mm-hmm.
who have not experienced what it's like to play a game that grips you so tightly that aren't, just mindless shooter games. Like, oh, well, you say this game grips you so hard, but I played Call of Duty for 12 hours and blah, blah, blah. It's like, yes, but you're doing the same thing over and over and over again.
No, dude,
for 12
I can do a
hours.
360 headshot.
360 no scope! But there's a difference now.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's maybe what I'm going to define as why I prefer retro gaming over newer gaming. Don't get me wrong, there are newer games that I'm interested in.
Yeah.
But there's a reason why I have all of these Nintendo games not on emulator. I have them all sitting here.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a reason why I will go back to these older games before I'll play newer ones. And it's because the gameplay and story of older games are actually there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Why did I sit down and play, Chrono Trigger for 12 hours? Because the game's good, because it kept me entertained, and there was so much new stuff that's like, yeah, this game is awesome.
Not only that.
Why did I sit and play Call of Duty for 12 hours? To increase numbers.
When you got Final Fantasy II, or Final Fantasy IV here in North America, how long was it before you got Final Fantasy VI? Quite a while.
Right.
Same thing with Mario. When you had the first Mario, okay, then you had your Mario 2, which was technically just a rehash of this other game, Doki Doki Panic. And then how long was it between Mario 2 and Mario 3? Several years.
Yeah, it was a while.
With Call of Duty games and these other... And I know we keep going back to Call of Duty because there's so many of them. There's always so many Call of Duty games. But they're pooped out so often, like, that... Again, like you said, there's not really much that's changed. Yes, there's a kind of a different story, different missions, different people, whatever. But, like, as far as I know, a lot of the Call of Duty games, don't they use, like, the same characters?
Pretty much.
So, I mean...
It's just the same, it's the same gameplay over and over and over again.
More or less, yes.
Let me also give you an example of a game that does not go by this formula, that a newer game that actually gets it right. And I'm going to point towards Dark Souls. A game that has taken several years between each game to release new content. And I haven't even played any of the Dark Souls games. I actually just sat down and watched a friend play Dark Souls, and I'm interested in it.
Mm-hmm.
Because it looks good.
Yep.
Everything about it just looks good.
Yep.
The story there is solid. The gameplay there is solid. The mechanics are solid. It's like, and this is also not a game that's catered towards people who are like, oh, but I want to beat my game because I paid my $50, so I'm entitled to the ending of the game. No, Dark Souls sits you down and says, if you suck dicks, you're gonna die. You know, don't play the game badly because if you do, you're gonna die.
Mm-hmm.
You know. It's like it punishes you for playing badly. So, this is another thing to where retro gaming is better than modern gaming, because modern gaming now caters to players who aren't, I don't want to say they aren't good. It caters to players where it's like they hold your hand for way too long. Where they tell you how to do A, how to do B, how to do C. Where do you go from here? Where do you go from there? How many times have you picked up a Nintendo game and you're like, how the fuck do I beat this?
Yeah, really though.
And it's more about it's about the journey. It's about exploration. Where do I go from here? This is part of what makes the older games better, because instead of just holding your hand and saying, Mega Man, you got to jump over this thing here. It's a hole. I'm painfully going into sequelitis here.
Oh yeah.
But you got to jump over. No fucking shit. You got to jump over a fucking hole. We get it. Okay. They don't do shit like that. They're just like, Mega Man, here you are. Go kick some ass. Oh, you can't do it? Play it again. Oh, you can't do it? Play it again. Oh, you can't do it? Play it fucking again.
Yeah.
And I think this is where I see Dark Souls as such a good series. It's because they do the same thing. Oh, you sucked at this boss and you didn't do it right? Get your ass whooped and do it again.
Yeah, that's true.
You're not supposed to fight the boss this way? Get your ass whooped. Do it again.
Yeah.
That's
the way retro gaming was.
See, and that's why I'm only going to bring up Dark Souls as one of like the good modern gaming. Mm-hmm. Whereas like, when they get it right, they get it right. But there are so few games nowadays that get it right.
Whoa.
Sorry.
You all right? Hope you're safe.
Yeah, I'm good.
But yeah, no, I agree. I mean, and again, I'm sure we're gonna have a different perspective of things, anyways, being from the retro age, anyways. But I mean, we grew up in a time where basically, when gaming first started, back in the like early 70s, more or less, with Pong and everything else.
Right.
It went good for the first few years, and then it fell off, the face of the earth because there's this big,
the gaming boom.
Yes, and
the gaming crisis.
The gaming crisis happened, and then there were several years where gaming wasn't a big thing in the late 70s. And then it came back with the Atari 2600 and then eventually the NES. And that's around the time that we got into gaming, so that's when gaming started getting exciting. And that's why it went from an NES to an SNES to an N64 to a GameCube to the Wii to the Wii U. There's a reason why Nintendo's been around that long. They've kept things, tried to keep things exciting as much as possible.
Right.
I mean, yes, like any other company, they have faults along the way. Look at Virtual Boy.
Yeah.
But then, at the same time...
Try not to look at Virtual Boy. It hurts your eyes after a while.
Look at Game Boy. It's come a mile, and that thing was picked up immediately. And other companies tried to keep up with them. PlayStation has done garbage with their handheld. A lot of people went for the PSP. The Vitas have done garbage. Before that, the Game Gear and the Nomad. Not as many people had them as a Game Boy because the Game Boy
There
was
are some
more...
people who... Sorry. There's some people who don't even know what a Nomad is. Much less just worrying about how they perform. I mean, what the hell is it? What's a Sega Nomad? What is that thing?
And actually, speaking of those things that people don't know about, there's a reason why you have a huge community of video game collectors who collect retro games. You don't see as many people going for, oh, well, I've got a big collection of Xbox 360. And usually when that is the case, it's probably because mom and dad or them or whatever have this job, that job, giving them money, have their own money because they do whatever it is they do, and they can just afford to buy new games over and over and over again. These are also the same people who have like, oh, I have NFL 2001 to 2015.
Right.
Yay? I don't want those games. There's a lot of games that were put out on these later systems that were just complete garbage. They were, again, people just poop out games from these companies because they're trying to make it in the gaming industry, and it doesn't always work out.
And then it's just people accept it nowadays, where it's like Madden 2016, Madden 2017, Madden 2018. Yay, we're taking like one or two different things and giving you something new and changing the names of the rosters so that they're accurate.
Yeah.
And we're going to give you the same goddamn game every year, and people just accept it.
Now, the one thing I will say that is good about the modern gaming these days is that it's slowly filtering out the shitty companies. Meaning that the shitty companies try to get started, and then they go bankrupt or they go under or whatever, and you don't see them again. That's why you have these people doing Kickstarters. That's why you have indie developers. Because people can go and look at the games and look and know what they're getting into before they go and invest or go and play these games. And that's why some of these indie games are huge hits and other ones just go under. It's because of the developer themselves. It's either they grow or they don't grow. It's either they're good or they're not good. And people can filter all that out now. And that's the nice thing about the gaming industry in the modern era. In the old era, you didn't know. When Christmas time came and you got, I'm trying to think of a really great, Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde. You didn't know what you were getting there. You thought, oh, great. New NES game for Christmas. Mom and Dad, you're awesome. I'm going to go play this now. Then by dinner time, you're like, you know what? I hope Mom and Dad choke on dinner. I hope they do. And then I'm going to take their money and I'm going to go buy a real game. But and in those times, it's either you played the game or you didn't. Meaning, it's either you played Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde, and you were, you're now a person who can say, Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde's not a hard game because I grew up with it and I played it. It's not hard. They know all the little, things about the game. Then there's the people who didn't play it or got the game and didn't want to play it, and they still say that it's hard because they didn't put in the time. And that's the thing. With back in those days, people didn't have, the money that people were making nowadays. Minimum wage was way lower. So, I mean, getting one, maybe 2 or 3 games at Christmas or your birthday, and you better be hoping the fuck that your birthday is far away from Christmas. Because then, if that's the case, your birthday just turned in from, maybe 2 or 3 games to just 1, and then a bunch of crap that you don't want.
Trust me. I know.
And so do I. It's your birthday. Here's Rampage.
It's not even that. It's just the whole, my birthday's 4 days after Christmas, so I know that deal. That's really bad. I feel really bad for you. Mine's in March. I thought I was bad, but yeah, that's bad. Oh, no.
Jesus.
Oh, no. Trust me. When I was growing up, there was always those cheap-ass, family members. I'm not saying my immediate family, because my immediate family didn't ever do that. It's always the aunts and uncles. It's like, oh, here's a Christmas present. Happy birthday, too.
Oh God, yes.
Fuck you.
Or they have it wrote on the card on the inside.
Happy birthday, Merry Christmas.
It's like, yeah, thanks, you buttholes.
That. Oh, well, yeah. Well, thanks for showing up, eat dicks.
And now kids for modern day Christmas, they're getting, I've got the PS4 for Christmas, and I also got 5 games. Mom also got me a $100 Steam card in my stocking, and my aunts and uncles and everybody else gave me about $300 or $400 worth of extra money in cards. So I'm just gonna run it to EB later. I think I might get an Xbox One as well, and maybe a couple games for that. And I'm looking at these kids and thinking like, I want to kick you in the face right now. When I was growing up, I get like one game and hope that it has to be good, and then you're just going out and getting a pile of yeah.
And then they're at the end of it like, I got all this stuff, the $100 card, and I only got 5 games, man. Hashtag hate my parents.
Right? Oh man.
Those sort of. Okay, we're deviating off the path, but
Indeed.
I honestly think that there's a line where it's you have to accept the fact that newer games are they look nicer, they play nicer, you could do more things, but you also have to be like, hey, if you're a new gamer now, go back and look at all of these retro titles. It's like, but they're they're 8-bit graphics, they're terrible, blah blah blah. It's like, sit down and start playing some of these games. You have kids nowadays, it's like, I got Pokemon X. I played Pokemon Red Blue, okay? I started with the original, all right?
Yep.
Where you couldn't skip all of this text. You couldn't run. You couldn't do all of this stuff.
Or if you didn't have a Game Boy, you were playing on the no-cash Game Boy emulator.
Right.
At the library on the weekends, because your parents didn't want to get a computer either, buttholes.
So you're like... You sit back, play some of these retro games, play some of like the older games, sit down. It's like, Skyward Sword, one of the best Zelda games ever. You clearly have not played all the Zelda games.
Yeah.
So, just take some time, go back, play all of those games, then come and talk to me how you feel about which is better, retro or current gaming.
No, actually, I gotta stop you there for a second. You've played Skyward Sword, I take it, on the Wii?
I haven't played Skyward Sword yet. I played Twilight Princess.
Play it on the Wii U. Don't bother playing it on the Wii, or you're gonna hate it. Play it on the Wii U. Apparently, from what I've heard from all the Zelda players, is that it's 1-to-1. So that when you go to do something with the Wii U remote, it actually does what you want it to do.
Right.
So... But, I completely agree. I mean, not only the first Zelda, the second Zelda was always looked at as the underloved child. I find it's my favorite Zelda game is the second one on the NES. It always has been, always will be.
Adventure Link?
Yeah.
Really?
Yep, my favorite Zelda game. I grew up with that game because I never knew anyone when I was growing up that had the original Zelda. Again, another thing about retro gaming was that you didn't have you had to either hope that the place that you were renting games had it or that one of your friends had it.
Right.
Because otherwise you weren't going to play it. And that was one of the games I never got to play. Now, my mom was seeing a guy at the time that he was living with a couple of guys, and they had a nice big, thick stack of games. That's where I first played Zelda 2, Adventure of Link. That's where I first played Jackal, which is an incredible NES game as well. And they had a bunch of games that I've never played, so I remember staying up all night. The first time I ever went through an entire evening without sleeping was when we were staying at their place, and I stayed up all night playing Zelda 2.
Yep.
Because the game was so addictive and so awesome to me that I didn't have a comparison. I didn't know what Zelda 1 was like, so I didn't know if it was good or bad.
See, I think Zelda 2, I honestly think it needs an update.
Yeah.
And it kind of needs, like, I don't want to say that it needs, like, a help update. It needs, like, a Metroidvania update where it's, like, the dungeons get maps.
Yeah, they almost need to do...
I honestly think that people would enjoy it a lot more if it had a map system. Where, like, I think people enjoy, like, Zero Mission over the original Metroid because you get that map, so
Yeah,
you can
that's true.
see where you're going and whatnot. Where, to me, if you haven't been watching Metroid Monday, I prefer the original Metroid because I have like the original Metroid map like burned into my fucking brain.
Oh yeah.
Because I played the original Metroid when it didn't have the map. So you made your own fucking map.
Yeah.
So you learned how to go from point A to point B to try to speedrun the game when you heard, oh, my buddy gets Nintendo Power, and he found out if you beat the game in less than 2 hours and you get so much crap, you special ending. Okay, cool. Well, now I gotta beat the game in less than 2 hours. It's time to sit down, grind out the game, learn the game, make a map, and figure out how to go from point A to point B, beat the game as fast as possible so I can get that special ending.
Yeah.
So,
but with Zelda 2, I think they need to do another Zelda game in that style for that to actually be likable. Because if you think about it, the top over version like they had for the original Zelda was what they did for almost every other one besides the 3D ones.
right.
But they never, I don't think they ever did return to the style of the
No,
2D platforming because I think they were afraid of ever going back to it. But I think, I don't know, someone needs to make a hack or something so that, they can make a better story, make better gameplay, do something so that they can get people back into that version of the game. But again, we're way off topic.
They did Castlevania 2. A guy went back and remade Castlevania 2, so everything was less cryptic.
Yeah. Yep. That's true.
Why can't they beat them with Zelda? I think that'd be great.
Yeah.
So, basically, in my final thought on this is that new games look nicer, retro games are nicer.
Yeah, that's actually a good analogy.
I can see where like playing newer games are. Don't get me wrong, I love playing the new stuff that comes out, but I think the quality of gaming has gone down over time, and I think just outside of gaming itself, I think that there is now less social aspect to gaming, to where like arcades are almost gone.
Yeah, I know, that's so sad.
So it's like the social aspect of gaming is disappearing, and I think that it needs to reappear, or it's going to become like the games are going to become less and less and less quality, and we're going to be presented with less and less classic games like Ocarina of Time or the original Legend of Zelda or Chrono Trigger. We're going to get less games like that and more games that are just like, okay, this is done, throw it out there.
There's nothing like the smell of quarters in your hands.
That. So there you go, guys. That's our argument for retro gaming versus modern gaming.
Indeed.
And I think that just about wraps up everything that we've got this week.
Indeed. That was a pretty lengthy podcast, but again, I hope you guys are enjoying. It seems like you have been, so we're just going to keep going. Again, if you have any other topics that you possibly would like us to talk about or like to hear our opinions on, then by all means, leave them down below. We always enjoy getting suggestions, and it helps us. So,
yep.
As always, thank you all for listening. I'm Stefan, the Old World Gamer, along with Scott Devin Kane. And I guess we'll see you next time for another podcast.
Yep, see you next week, guys.